All right, hello everybody. So it's been a while since I've recorded a last video. My apologies. Um, I did have computer issues. I did start getting this set up, but just actually getting sort of situated where I felt like I could record again. Unfortunately, was just a little bit of a challenge. But I know I'm overdue for a video. I know you guys all like to see it. I mean, hey, if you guys like it, I want to keep doing it. In any case, I don't want to waste too much time because I got a lot of leagues to go over because I actually did win some number of trophies. And I want to I want to try to at least get all of those out there because in the past, sometimes I wasn't able to share every league that I trophied with. So a lot of this is going to be post-league commentary, but that probably even makes it a better experience, hopefully. In any case, yeah, so I'll get to the point. We all know the basic idea behind these mono red mid-range type decks, but I just want to share a few developments. This is a companionless deck without Obosh. Now, I have still not conclusively decided whether companionless or Obosh is better. I don't know that that can be decided um, because one of the main things is Shatterskull Smashing here in the main deck. The more and more I play with this card, the more and more I'm convinced that this is just so powerful that a legitimate argument can be made that it's worth losing Obosh, maybe even just for playing Shatterskull Smashing in these mid-range type archetypes. It fits the mid-range shell like such a glove. Anytime you can hit two targets, especially if you get to like 8+ mana, which is not as much of an anomaly as you might think, in a mid-range type deck that's designed to go long. I think you can easily chalk up a lot of the wins you get in those matchups, at least to that playing a large part to it. Could you have won without it? Who knows? Maybe. But the thing is, it's always easy to tell when you lose because this comes into play tapped or untapped. It's always easy to kind of like rewind the clock in your mind and be like, oh man, maybe if I didn't miss that turn, or oh maybe I died at like top deck lightning bolt at 3 life. Maybe if I didn't play this untapped. You get the idea. Yeah. But sometimes you kill like two things, the game lasts on for quite a while, and you don't necessarily realize, but like you could have lost if you didn't hit like those 2 mana dorks for 4 mana. Um, but anyway, it's super powerful. It fits the archetype like a glove. Obosh is pretty darn good too, and pretty darn free. Um, in any case, yeah, the companionless archetype is not a downgrade by any stretch of the imagination, and it could easily be better. I have not decided. I may still be leaning slightly in the direction of Obosh, but it really depends, especially since the companionless versions get access to these stronger sideboard cards. And yeah, about the sideboard, I think Magus is pretty much non-negotiable because of Amulet Titan. As long as Amulet Titan's in the meta, don't even think about messing around with other card types. I mean, I don't know. There could be other possibilities, but the main thing about Magus is that, sure, they can hit it with Dismember, but like, the thing about Amulet Titan is not because of Boseiju who shelters all. They just have such a free like main deck, and like it's just so free. It just fits into their deck so perfectly. Their artifact and enchantment hate is just so it's just so free and so built into their into their archetype. And plus, what do you call it? Force of Vigor. Force of Vigor is not necessarily free in the sense that it doesn't fit their archetype. Like, they would just play it even without the artifact removal. It is free, of course, in the sense they could pitch a card and, deal with Blood Moon even with no green mana, which, makes Blood Moon a heck of a lot less powerful against Amulet, I will say. But that aside also can hit 2 Blood Moons, which is actually a real big problem, because it means you can't sort of hedge your bets. But yeah, but one of the main things I just think is that, like, the thing about Dismember is that it's available and it can be played off of colorless mana, but at least they have to pay a cost for it, and you'd be surprised. The number of games where I do actually eke out a victory even after they do remove my Maguses, and I still kind of squeak through with enough damage, even after some Titans come down, especially if we have like our main deck of Braids, Blaststones, whatever, and we can kind of control the amulets so that the Titans don't get haste and don't kill us instantly, that kind of stuff. The point is that at least Dismember imposes a real tax on them. They have to pay a real price. They've got to pay 1 mana, and they've got to pay 4 life, and they got to have literally Dismember. There really isn't that much more hate that they bring in. I mean, sure, they could bring in like Walking Ballista or something. That's slower. Honestly, Walking Ballista is a little more frustrating because it usually means Karn, and Karn is always a pain in the butt. But even that, it's usually less of a it's less free, so to speak, than either what do you call that thing again? Force of Vigor or Boseiju, who endures, which are both very free in very different meanings of the word free, but still very free nonetheless. And Dismember is very less free. Dismember is almost the definition of not free, but still a very good card that I've endorsed many times in the past. Just very, very not free. Dragon's Claw, red matchups, enough said. Red's much more rampant, and there's actually more matchups than just burn we can bring this in. I would bring this in against Prowess. I would bring this in against, mono red, Metalcraft, Shrapnel Blast, whatever, which is running around more nowadays. I would bring this in against a lot of those types of decks because, at the end of the day, like, even if they're using more creatures than, like, regular burn to kill you, like, we just have so much creature removal in our deck that oftentimes we can, take care of the creatures. This makes sure we never fall victim to their reach. And the sheer mind-boggling amount of life that will be gained over a game where both players are slinging endless amounts of red spells, it means that, we can even tank a good number of hits from their creatures. So, I was not always on board with bringing in Dragon's Claw against non-burn red matchups, but as long as it's an aggressive type red matchup, especially if there's a decent amount of reach, but as long as it's an aggressive type red matchup, yeah, I say go for it. Ironically, the one red matchup where I would say don't bring it in, I mean, unless there's like a mono red combo deck, which other than mono red Storm, which I don't even know. Who knows, actually, getting out of Gut Shot range could even be good. Not Gut Shot, Grape Shot. Getting out of Grape Shot range could be worth it. But ironically, one of the only mono-red matchups, at least that still sees play, because I don't know about mono-red Storm, and even then, Dragon's Claw could be good, but the only one, maybe that sees play is actually our mono-red mid-range / Obotch type deck. I would not bring it in against the Literal Mirror, because notice how we have almost no reach. We basically just have Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's like the only actual, burn spell that goes face, interestingly enough, which that's fine. We don't need any of our burn spells to go face for the most part. And also notice how, just don't have that many, like, it's just, the clock's not super fast, which is obviously, kind of be nice if our clock could be faster, but it is what it is. I'm just saying that, this mono red archetype that we play ourselves, ironically, Dragon's Claw is, and some advice if you're playing Dragon's Claw in a, like, especially an aggressive deck, let me tell you, I always feel sorry for my opponent when they're playing, like, Prowess or something, and they bring in Dragon's Claw against me, and I'm always thinking, like, oh, great, I just basically, that's something that could have been a Swift Spear or a Soul Scar or a whatever, or just a burn spell, and I'm just always thankful it's Dragon's Claw because it just buys me more time, and then eventually I win. Because, like, basically if you're aggressive, you got to be the aggro, and Dragon's Claw is the definition of not the aggro. But ironically, we're like the only mono red type matchup that I can think of, with the possible and not even clear exception of mono red Storm that Dragon's Claw is not good against. So anyway, Ratchet Bomb. Nowadays Ratchet Bomb, of course, is good against Hammer Time, but it's in a number of different matchups. Make Death Shadow decks that have like 1-cost cards, especially. But other decks where you got to deal with enchantments or whatever, or high power and toughness creatures, sometimes Tarmogoyf. But mainly it's just nice to have access to something that can deal with tokens. Oh, it is worth noting though that there's another card called, like, I think the Filigree Silex or something, which is kind of just strictly better, but it's legendary, so at least one of the Ratchet Bombs can kind of become Silex at no additional cost. But I've never cranked that thing up to 10 anyway for the other ability, so for the most part it's basically just another Ratchet Bomb. In any case, Stonebrain, man. Stonebrain, the thing I love about Stonebrain is it just gives me a plan against all kinds of combo decks, you name it, Belcher, Rhinos, Creativity. Against, like, Belcher, you would obviously name Belcher. Hopefully the Relics will get you there against any type of Great Version. I don't know if they would have, but what do you call it? Rhinos, you name Crashing Footfalls. Creativity you normally name Archon, but I've noticed they've started catching on, and they've started bringing in, like, Iona or Emrakul, in which case you name Creativity, and that's more difficult because if they hard cast, especially their Archons, then they can still win easily. But but it definitely, you increase your chances of winning a lot if you name Creativity. If they don't have any other any other big fat baddies, and you name Archon, then strangely enough, you're still not guaranteed to win, but you definitely flip from becoming a massive underdog to becoming a huge favorite, if that's the case. But they catch on more and more nowadays. But the point is it gives you a plan, and by no means am I under an illusion also against Rhinos, because it takes, like, It takes either yeah, it takes basically a total of 4 mana and no earlier than turn 3. With and if you try to get it off on turn 3, they have a whole turn to remove it. So don't go into this thing thinking this thing is like the sideboard messiah that will actually flip all your matchups. It won't. And as long as you don't sing its praises too much and worship it as like a false idol, Stonebrain, I think you'll agree, especially in these companionless versions. But I've tinkered around with playing it even in Obosh versions, even if you lose Obosh. I just hate that they immediately know I brought it in, most likely, if they follow me, which they don't always do that. Um, but yeah, just Stonebrain mana just gives you a plan. It doesn't flip Rhinos, it doesn't flip creativity, it doesn't flip any of these combo type matchups where they've got like, one main win con, or at least a win con that's more dangerous to you. Sometimes they've got a win con that you're afraid of and another win con that you're not so afraid of, like against what do you call it? Oops, all spells. Like the graveyard part, we're just not that worried about. It's the Belcher part that we're more worried about. So we would probably default to naming that, at least as long as we got a relic in play. You get the idea. But the point is yeah, it's probably not going to actually make any of those matchups favorable. So just be under no illusions. But it does it. But here's the thing: you don't have to play a sideboard card just to flip a matchup. As long as a sideboard card is giving you enough percentage points across enough matchups, then like, I mean, come on, like basically as long as you increase the chances you can juke a certain random matchup you run into, yeah, hey, if you do that, sometimes that can be the difference between going 5-0 in a league or even like taking down a tournament. So, in a companionless version, I think I'm all in on Stonebrain. I think it's one of the biggest draws to being companionless. Again, you could play in an Obosh deck, but the fact that they don't even know that you're bringing it in necessarily. Although I guess the more and more people follow me, the more people know that I've got it. I've got it. But I guess the point is that just you don't lose any value since you still got your Shatterskull Smashings, which you lost for playing Obosh anyway. I mean, which you don't you get for giving up Obosh. So the point is Stonebrain. Yeah, it just fits in the companionless decks, especially like a glove. Fits what our type of deck is all about. And other than that, not sure what else to say. Yeah, we'll discuss the rest. Fable has been an absolute has become an absolute staple. I think I may have already said that in a previous video, but the mana ramp, the card filtering, I mean, and the ability to go nuts copying Fury and Seasoned Pyromancer. I mean, in a mid-range deck, it kind of is like a mid-range deck's dream come true. I think in the past I underrated it because I still hold that Seasoned Pyromancer is better, but dang man, like that, what does that tell us? I mean, Seasoned Pyromancer is just so mind-bogglingly, stupidly powerful. Even if Fable is like half as good as Seasoned Pyromancer, it's still probably one of the best cards in the deck. And while I don't necessarily know if it's the second best card in the deck, it is dang good, and it is one of the all-stars for sure. Anyway, let's get to the games, everybody. That's enough talking. I gotta get some videos out. Hope you all enjoy. All right, let's go over match 1, game 1. This will definitely be a keep. We seem to be up against Izzet Murktide. Yeah, Spikefield Cave. It can be a little slow here, but we need the red mana. The way we want to approach Murktide is we just don't want to necessarily be overly impatient. Yeah, and this might have actually been a mistake. But I didn't think they'd win a Spell Pierce set. But you see, here's the thing though. Like now they can drop a Murktide, which they don't seem to have, which is good for us. But that's one critique I can give about this is that we don't want to necessarily play a bunch of spells into like sure here they can hit this with like Unholy Heat or something. Like we don't want to necessarily give them the opportunity to dump a bunch of instants and sorceries into their graveyard. Like if we don't play creatures, if we don't necessarily play must counter spells, and I didn't think Cleansing Wildfire was a must counter spell to be fair, but if we don't do that, then yeah, and I'm still a little surprised I didn't dump anything. Well, I guess this makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, just trying to play for the long game here. I've got so many actually 4 damage spells that I'm actually not super worried about Murktide anymore. This is a weird matchup. See, here's the thing. They're kind of stalling out because they don't have whatchamacallit. They don't have expressive iteration. If they had expressive iteration, they could start going nuts a little bit, like with more card advantage and stuff, but since they don't, okay, what is this going to be? Yeah, we don't want to give them, yeah. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're just, we're definitely getting the windfall of being lucky that they don't have Murktide, because Murktide, and this would be a good opportunity for us to Fury. They're probably going to counter it, but no biggie if they do, because we can just Abrade the Dragon Race Channeler. We still might want to Abrade the Dragon Race Channeler, actually. We'll see. What's the plan? Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's because it's just better advantage. Yeah, it's better value. It really is. And there goes the number one. Yeah, I guess we're just not under pressure to to really like kill them anytime soon. If the game goes long, they could start crawling back a lot better if they hit us with Ragavan. So that's the reason why we didn't attack. I endorse it. Even going back in time, looking at this. So, but yeah, I think we want to continue making our land drops, most likely, I think. Yeah, so I endorse that. But yeah, that was kind of scary for a while because a very big Murktide could come out. But then again, we did have like 16 damage worth of Flame Slashes and a Fury. So, there's that. Normally, if we had Blast Zone, we could have been cranking Blast Zone up to like 7 mana to be able to deal with a Murktide. But we don't have Blast Zone. But on the other hand, they just don't seem to be drawing Murktide. So I guess it all works out for us in the end anyway, doesn't it? Alright. Otawara, that's a weird. But I guess it makes sense because they're probably thinking the same thing we were, which is they got to connect with Ragavan if they want to win. Good thing we've got Abrade. Of course, they've got Spell Snare. That's weird. Let me get another one. Alright, and that's that. And with that, I think a little less excited about attacking with Seasoned Pyromancer now, but no, well, there we go. I guess, yeah, we don't want to attack with Den. I guarantee you they got another burn spell. If they had another counter, they probably would have played it. They got 2 cards in their hand. What can these 2 cards be? They got to be burn spells, I mean, right? Like, just to kind of stands to reason. Or another Ragavan, I guess. Yeah, there you go. And there's the Murktide. Man, that's late. So how I want to approach this. Let's see. It's interesting that I chose to do it this way, but they kind of made this easy for me, I guess. Okay, yeah, that's so weird that I played it that way, but hey, it worked out. Alrighty. So match 1, game 2, and I like this. I'm heavily incentivized to run out the Relic. I think the Relic. That's what I would recommend. Okay, good. I'm playing the way in the past that I would recommend in the present, and the reason why we want to get this Relic out. Good thing they didn't have a Mistress Bauble, because that would have been a problem. This could still end up being a problem. But yeah, we want to prioritize the Relic, and the reason is because this is absolutely a must counter spell. If they know what they're doing, keeping them off Murktide is incredibly important in this matchup. And even though they could Spell Pierce it, which they actually played the DRC, so they couldn't Spell Pierce in that situation. Yeah, I guess we'll put it on 2, because at the end of the day, I think that's the only way we really lose here. But yeah, like, there would be many opportunities to deal with DRC, but we only got 4 relics in our deck. It's super important that we land one of them, ideally. Okay, there's that, but good thing we got the Blast Zone ticking up. Gee, I'm really glad I went this route. Feels kind of unlucky that we didn't have like a Flame Slash or a Fury, but it's okay. And they seem to have taken multiple mulligans, and also they're stuck on mana, and that's obviously good for us. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wait until end of turn. I can tank the 2 damage and or 3 damage, as it were. Well, yeah. Oh, they're hurting, man. I feel bad. I don't like. Not like this. Not like this. But anyway, hey, a win's a win, right? But yeah, this is it's kind of looking like it's maybe turning into a non-game. I mean, at least they're drawing business, but I don't know. I would have seriously considered a cracking Relic there. Let's see, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Alrighty. We're probably cranking Blast Zone again. Oh, unless we draw a Fury, and what a Fury it is! I'm surprised I didn't crack the Polluted Delta. Alrighty. Yeah, what a beautiful Fury. Have you ever seen a Fury so beautiful? Yeah, probably they're going to hit the Reflexion. I think I got a crack Relic. I think I do. Yeah, there we go. It's exactly what I'd recommend. Because we got to keep them off that Murktide. That's like the one thing that could poop on my parade, so to speak. Hope my video doesn't get like, shadow banned because I said the P word. All right, let's see here. Dress down. Hey, it saves them 3 life and they draw a card. I've seen worse. I'd advocate playing Fable, I think. And sure enough, oh no, or maybe, you know what? I missed that. Good on me from the past. Take them off of red. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, and I waited on the lightning bolt because if they spell pierce or play consider for that matter, they either counter it or they boost it out of lightning bolt range. But yeah, see the beauty of this now is without red mana we can get in there with Den. Well, they got a red mana, but yeah, it was that was that. Let me tell you, these Murktide matchups don't always go this clean, but with the help of Relic, we didn't get to see Blast Zone like go up to 7, but oh man. Funny thing, okay, Murktide, I think at the time I played this matchup, I was going about 50-50 with Murktide. I'd like to say a little better than 50-50, but that's how everybody feels, don't they? When a matchup is 50-50, everybody feels they're slightly on the better side, at least. In all honesty, though, I do feel like I've improved that to maybe more like 55 or even 60-40. Maybe that's a little bit too wishful thinking, but to be fair, we'll get over them. We'll get to them when the time comes. But there's been some additional tech, especially when I've been jamming more Saga. The Saga versions, I think, definitely have a better matchup against Murktide than the non-Saga versions. But even the non-Saga versions, we play it right. Don't necessarily play a bunch of spells and a bunch of creatures too early to let them get an early Murktide. Like a later game Murktide is easier to deal with, ironically, but like especially if you have time to crank up that Blast Zone to 7. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that my main advice to the Murktide matchup is just to try not to give them the opportunity to dump a bunch of instants and sorcery into their graveyard in order to get an early Murktide. As long as they don't have good targets for their counter spells, for their burn spells, whatever, as long as they don't have good targets for that, they don't necessarily have a lot of ways. They do have consider and they do have expressive iteration. They don't always see those early, and even if they do, a 4/4 Murktide is very easy to deal with because of Flame Slash. So you have to see multiple of them. But at the end of the day, if you can avoid giving them the opportunity to get down an early Murktide by having a lot of instant sorceries in their graveyard, then I would say try to avoid it. It's also something else you have to intuit. You got to realize if they're not playing a lot of stuff early on in the game, they're probably holding up counter magic, right? Because if you think about it, for the most part, this isn't always true, but for the most part, if they got an expressive iteration, they're probably firing it off, right? Not always. They could be waiting until they got 2 mana to hold up. Depends on the player on the other side. If they've got a Ledger Shredder, a lot of times they want to start getting it going. They want to start attacking. They want to start conniving. But if they're just playing nothing, if they're just continuously holding up mana, I mean, while it's not a sure thing, it's a lot of times very likely that they got counter magic. And just remember, if you play something like a Seasoned Pyromancer right into that counter spell, you're not only getting your spell countered. If that was it, oh, excuse the bird. If that was it, then that'd be one thing. But they also get to feed their Murktide more. Anyway, I gotta get going. See you on the next one. Okay. Match 2, game 1. Oh, and I forgot to do the sideboarding for last matchup. Honestly, though, give me a second. Let me look at my sideboard again. I might have brought in 3 Stone Brains in match 2. If so, I probably took out 3 Fables, I think. His greatest Fable, as I've sang his praises. Stone Brain taking care of Murktide is kind of a game changer, but yeah, I probably did that, but we didn't see it. Other than that, I don't think I would have sideboarded on the Ratchet Bomb, so anyway, so yeah, sorry for not going over the sideboarding. I'll remember this time. Alright, let's go back to the regularly scheduled programming, and this, I don't know if this is burn or not, but this looks like something. Let's see here. Yeah, we're trying to go for the Spikefield. Hopefully they don't manatize me, bro. Oh yeah. Spikefield for the win. Oh, this deck. Oh my goodness. This might last a while. Buckle in, folks. Um, yeah, I could have sacked it, but I don't know what I'm up against, and two relics could be excellent. Yeah, this is like one of Kurisu's what do you call it, Kiki-Chord-ish type decks. I don't think this is Kiki-Chord though. I remember there's something kind of flashy and cool about this deck, but I forget what it is. Yeah, I don't need to play Seasoned Pyromancer yet because I probably want to get the Fury out of my hand. Restoration Angel. Yeah, probably Fury on the Resto is better than Fury on a wall. Alrighty. Probably going to Field a Rune. That sucks. Oh, well, that's one reason to have two relics. Alrighty. Alrighty. I'm a little worried about them getting planes, but still felt like too good of an opportunity. I'm still gonna go for the Fury, I think. I just, I can't pass it up. Sorry, Sally. If they got Ephemerate, that's gonna suck. Okay, good, they don't. All right. Having these two relics couldn't really help. Yeah, because see, this can help prevent the Eternal Witness from going too nuts. Yep. Yep. Ooh, Archon of Emeria. Cool. Yeah, I should have played the Mountain. I forgot that the Blast Zone came into play tap because of Archon, so I could have actually killed the Eternal Witness while I was at it. Yeah, you live and you learn. I don't know if that's going to make that big of a difference, but it might. We'll see. Yeah, they snipe 2 damage on me with the Eternal Witness. That's not cool. That should not even be there, but it is what it is. I think I want a Shatterskull, man. I'm gonna shatter. Hopes shatter. I mean, I guess I ended up sniping the. So at least it's good to know I only ended up taking 2 damage, and that was pretty much the extent of that, as far as that mistake goes. It didn't result in any more complications. Only 2 life I shouldn't have had to waste. We don't need to crack this yet, I think. We can always crack it later if it looks like we really need the extra card. So, I mean, it looks like we're in a pretty good spot, if I do say so myself. Let's see here. Yeah, get some card advantage going. Maybe the Fable can even start copying the Seasoned Pyromancer later down the road. I don't know if we needed to do that. But we did. Okay, fine. I don't know if Restoration Angel was the strongest possible thing they could have grabbed. So maybe it was worth it to bait that out. Oh, I was worried about Kiki-Jiki. Oh, well, there it is. Okay. Alright, so that felt like we threw it away when we didn't really need to. Well, actually, I guess they had us anyway, even without the Flame Slash, if you think about it. But would they have gone for it if we would have held up? Probably, because we drew 2 random cards, so they would have probably taken their chances. But now we just gotta remember to hold up Lightning Bolt. Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. Although Ephemerate, interestingly enough, is really good because the Kiki with haste can still go at it. But yeah. Yeah, not sure what to say here. Yeah, we did need to, I guess, get our lands a little bit more in order. Yeah, well, we'll sack the Relic. Might not seem like the best value, but value is value at the end of the day. I'll probably Spikefield it. I wish I would have done that before they dropped the land. Well, I would have thought Spikefielding would have been the way to go, but I guess discarding Spikefield makes more sense, doesn't it? I'd probably get rid of the Shatterskull, but it's not. Yeah, it's not 100% clear. Yeah, I see. That's why I didn't Spikefield. Makes sense. Are they going for Kiki? Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, something must have gone right because I think I ended up winning this one, but yeah, that definitely, I think, was a good, yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, I endorse this. Got to get that right off the table. Who am I targeting? I'm going all out on red. That seems a little overdoing it, but no, I guess this one went to them too. Yeah, 2 tokens. That makes sense. Well, they got me in a Kiki, but based on the end result, I don't think they have Kiki yet. Alright, cool. Ready. Ooh, yeah, I was worried about Solitude. Somehow I knew. Not sure how I knew, but somehow I knew. Gotta get rid of the Risto because it's also part of their combo. As tempting as it'd be to nix the Solitude and the Ren, I can't have that Angel just sitting around. Oh, interesting. That was kind of cool, I guess. Let's see if they chump block. They might. This is pretty good value here. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, so good one. Got off the Ren. Take them off the land. Play the Fable. And I approve of this because I don't think the Blast Zone's all that important, so I want to just use it to filter. One of those advantages of Fable I was telling y'all about. I'll block. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Yeah, just the Blast Zone. Bam. Wham, MoneyGram. Yeah, and I can even play the Seasoned Pyromancer. It's pretty cool. They have 0 cards in their hands. Good to know. Oh no, I can't play it this turn, right? Next turn, I guess. Hopefully they don't draw some kind of instant speed value card, like I guess a Solitude would have done it. Yeah, alright. Okay, match 2, game 3. Oh, and I forgot to do the sideboarding. Alright, let me fix that right now. I don't think I sideboarded any different for game 2, so let's just remember this. And it looks like I didn't. Oh yeah, I brought in Ratchet Bomb. Took out Cleansing Wildfire. That makes sense because I anticipated that they had Although actually I might not have brought it in last match because I'm not sure if we saw Cleansing Wildfire. If we did, then that was the only swap. This time I changed Cleansing Wildfire for Ratchet Bomb, and it's because of the Branching Force Tenders. All right, let's get back to the game. I think this is a pretty bolt the bird type scenario if I've ever seen one. And yep, so this looks like a Rhino 6 to me. Yep, but yeah, I think we got to Fury this. In retrospect, maybe I should have gotten rid of the Reckless Impulse, but I don't know. I'll probably just I guess I'll wait until next turn to fire off the Reckless Impulse. I really just want to get maximum value out of all my cards, and I guess my thinking was that those 2 Seasoned Pyromancers don't give me like maximum value because I usually end up having to pitch the other one, or I have to pitch other cards. Ooh, nasty. Some good card advantage I got there. I do have the Ratchet Bomb, which I can take care of the clue tokens. Do I want to do that? Weird. I would have thought I would have just cracked on the clue tokens. So weird. Why didn't I do that? Huh. I guess I'll end up cracking on these clue tokens. Maybe this is wise. I wanted to waste their mana. I can still hit it with Fury. I guess that could be. Weird that I tapped this way, but obviously I gotta get the tracker off the table. Yeah, there we go. It's weird that it didn't the last turn, but oh, I know why. I know why. Silly me. It's because I was wondering if they were gonna rack up. I basically, yeah, I forced them. Yeah, that was actually good. That was good on me. I basically had to. I basically put them in a situation where they had to crack the clue tokens, so I didn't get blown out by. Oh yeah, doing this makes sense. So what a quarter calling. Okay, Source Solitude. Yeah, because I wanted them to tap out basically, and I guess I got what I wanted. All right, Relic it is. Fine, you win. You get me to play my Relic. Alrighty. Wall of Omens. Yeah, this is gonna be a crack if I've ever seen one. Just good to get the value. Oh yeah. Yeah, so they get that, but still, I mean, they've got another Relic, so it is what it is. I'll probably just bring it down, tap, get rid of the fetch land. Yep. Oh, what is this? Oh no, this is a chord. Okay, there's the chord finally. LOL. Okay. I think I'm gonna Shatterskull. Yeah, that makes sense. I endorse. But they did get another chord back, but you know, what can you do? It's good value, but it's not the end of the world. Alrighty. Yep, let's get another one down. Boom, boom. Yeah, I think it's fine. As tempting as it is to play Fable, I gotta hold up these relics. There is the... okay, it's fine. They get good value too, but I feel pretty strongly about winning the long-term value war. I think, you know, putting Blast Zone up to 2, well, that's probably just gonna crack. Yeah, there we go. Makes sense to me. Yep. But Blast Zone on 2, when I can, is gonna be nice. Alrighty. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'll probably just jack and Glass Zone up to 2. Oh, Spaghetti-O. It's a Kiki. No! Oh, thank God. I was a little worried about that for a second here. Yeah, that was pretty powerful. Good thing I left up the mana, let me tell you. Let me tell you, that would have just been it right there. If I didn't leave up. If I played the Ratchet Bomb. Things like that, man. Just like that. Game's over. Or could be at least. Yeah, get rid of the Ratchet Bomb, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I might as well get a treasure token, right? What's the harm? Yeah, and I might as well keep them from ultimating. Ultimating is pretty powerful. If I do say so myself. Alright, get another relic. Always nice. Oof, doing the 1 mana draw 2 card ephemerates. Also always nice, but hopefully Operation Put Ratchet Bomb on 2 will finally commence. Not Ratchet Bomb, I mean Blast Zone. Operation Put Blast Zone on 2. And I can still do that using the treasure token. I mean, might as well, right? Oh, I'm surprised I didn't do that. Well, I guess they're so high up on mana, I just don't really give too much of a hoot, and the treasure token has some value, so fine. I endorse that. I don't think it's worth flame slashing. So yeah, I might as well do this, yeah. Alright, cool. Cool beans. Alright, cool beans. Might as well attack. Oh. Alright, cool beans. Alright, that's not bad. Do I still want to attack? Probably not. Get rid of the angel. Sorcery speed, unfortunately. Alright, well, now we're in top deck war. They got 3 cards in hand, we got 0, but I got Blast Zone and I got Den of the Bugbear, and they don't have utility lands. But they do have another wall. They do have Ragavan. Well, that's probably going to be a block. Well, I guess I can... Nah, it's probably going to be a block on the Ragavan if I do say so myself. I'm kind of feeling like cracking Relic, and that's definitely going to be a Relic crack. Or not. Yeah, I'll do this. Bam. I got a feeling this could go to time, to be honest. Yeah, got rid of the wall too. Always nice. Yep. Oh yeah, that got rid of my. Or they might deck. I got a feeling this might come down to either them decking or a timeout because I mean they're kind of matching me in terms of like being able to deal with my stuff, but I'm able to deal with their stuff, and they've thinned their deck out a little more. Yeah, unfortunately I've got no more cards but I can actually keep them off of red. So there's that. I mean, not anytime soon, at least. Oh yeah, keeping them off double red for keeping them off of Kiki, or triple red for that matter. I think that's a very good plan. Okay, yeah, might as well. Bam, bam. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, like that song. Ooh yeah. Yes. Da, 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 da. I got a feeling that Kiki and a what do you call it? Oh no, they didn't. Somehow I had a memory of them kikiing in a Eternal Witness, but thankfully that did not come to pass. Birds of Paradise. Yeah, might as well. Might as well. Oh no. Oh no. See what I mean? See how it just never ends? And I also gain more life when they Solitude, but then I guess I lose it back. But... Alrighty. Da-da-da. 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 Well, there we go. More power to the people, if I do say so myself. And at a certain point, I think they concede even before we deal lethal, because they're at like under 4 minutes on the clock. They have fewer cards in their deck than us. I don't think they have I don't even think they have Lightning Bolt in their deck, but even if they do, they fail to find. But even if they do, yeah, I guess if they've got 4 Lightning Bolts left in their deck, but I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I might as well try to go for it. Just in case they got 4 Lightning Bolts somewhere in those 17 cards, which I doubt it. But don't want to lose to Lightning Bolt after Lightning Bolt after Lightning Bolt. Okay, alrighty. Well, that was a little scary for a second, but alright, that's not as scary as the Angel. Well, I can crank this up. Let's see, 3, 4, 5. There we go. That scares me the worst of all worlds. This is the power of Blast Zone, man. Let me tell you. To talk about utility. I mean, is that utility or what? All right, and bye-bye red forever. Well, at least once I deal with the birds, which will happen eventually. I could have attacked with Bugbear, but taking them off reds and being able to prevent them from playing another Fury seems pretty powerful. Alrighty. Mages of the Moon. At a certain point, I gotta crack the Relic. Yeah, they could probably have another Fury here. I probably should have cracked the Relic. Okay. This game is far more interesting, I feel like, than it is any business being. There we go. There we go. Okay, some Fabeluza. Okay, fine. Some Fabeluza. Bam. At least the Ephemerate doesn't give them any value other than saving their card. And with 2 minutes to go, it's going to be kind of hard to see how they string a victory together. And I don't feel particularly bad about winning at time anyway, because they're going to deck first. I think blocking the Magus makes a lot of sense to me. It really does. What's this? Oh, Restoration Angel. Oh, not going to lie, I'm getting a little worried, but I already know the result here, so this is a little interesting. Alrighty. Yeah, not going to lie, it's getting a little concerning. Let's see, though. Cracking the Relic also gives me one more card to pitch. Oh, and there we go. And see what I mean about the Shatterskull? You know, like huh. Four. Okay. Alright, fine. Alright, fine. Fine, bro. Dang, actually, still getting a little nervous, but that Shatterskull is the only... And I guess that's why I didn't juice it up all the way, but... Whew, 1 minute. Now I'm going to feel a little bad if I win on time. And they actually looked like they were going to kill me with the resto. Oh man, that was good. That was a good one. Oh, there we go. Never mind. I think they concede here. They concede here when they see the Flame Slash. Because the Flame Slash basically means that... And it looks like they're gonna lose to damage anyway. Yep, and that's GG. Renton Forge Tender. Yeah, it's just not enough time. I mean, 4 turns, but then we probably win with more attacks back. Not. Oh. Alright, not bad. What can I say about this matchup, really? Just, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Basically, we have to watch out for the combo, because I think we're favored as long as I don't get the combo going. Instant speed restos can also whittle us down, like we saw, but yeah, I think this is favorable, although they have many ways to get wins on us. So just be mindful, especially of the combo, and you know, that's my best advice. All right, all right, match 3, game 1. Let's see how this one goes. Yep, Den of the Bugbear. I mean, just so free if we played on the first 2 turns, obviously. Ooh, Dredge. Most Dredge decks do not play any basics, making Field of Ruin almost like a super strip mine. So let's see if that comes up. Oh man, we got pretty lucky though. Somehow there's no oh no, there is. There's still remotes, but we got Fury. So maybe we're actually okay. And another Field of Ruin? Actually, even without Graveyard Hate, we're actually kind of wondering if we might be able to get there. Yeah, I see the logic behind that is that, you know, it'd be hard to get both in Abrade on stuff. Yeah, we got to try to mana screw. It's the only way. It's the only way. Silver won't trigger, by the way, because it only works at the on their turn. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn. Yeah, and they kept them off of mana. I say Fable. I choose you. And, oh man. We might actually get there without even Graveyard Hate. That's the power of Field of Ruin, man. I'm telling you, having these in our deck. Oh, and I think that's just a concede, probably. I would if I were them. I'd probably get rid of Braid too, right? Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's a concede. All right. Okie dokie. All right, match 3, game 2. Let's go. Yeah, and I'm keeping this because of Cleansing Wildfire. This is definitely one of those games where I think Cleansing Wildfire really shows what it's made of. Okay, yeah, they didn't actually get anything out, and with that, we may actually be able to really set them back, if you know what I mean. Let's see. Oh, Thoughtseize. Too bad they took the other Cleansing Wildfire, but we got a Field of Ruin, and they got no lands, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. Oh, they got another land. Boo. Oh yeah, and then we drew another Cleansing Wildfire. Yep. Oh, they got another land. Boo. Oh, we got Graveyard Hate. You know, good for us. Yay! Alright. I guess I forgot the sideboarding again, but honestly, I don't think there really was any sideboarding for the Dredge matchup. Yeah, I don't think there was. I don't think I bring in Stonebrain. I mean, especially not in this deck with the Cleansing Wildfires and the Field of Runes and all that. Alright, let's get to the next game. And not much to say about the Dredge matchup, just you mull either to your Strip Mine effects or you mull to the Graveyard Hate, or both. Now this is looking like it's going to be Domain Zoo, so let's see here. Yeah, I think this is a Flame Slash, if I've ever seen one. There we go. This is kind of an aggro deck with reach, so we do want to kill creatures on sight as long as we can. Yeah, we do probably want to Fury that. Do we want to hit a Cleansing Wildfire first? I guess what's the harm, right? Yep. I do like hitting that thing even though it's at 2 because it can grow to 5 very easily the next turn and because it can filter. And there it probably would have been 5. Well, I don't know, 5, let's see. Red, white, green, so it would have been 4/4, but you get the idea. And oh yeah, and that's why I'm going after things that aren't white and aren't green. Kind of keep them off of stuff. Okay. Yep, so we will play the Fable. We will. This is only a 4/4. Come on, land. Well, we can draw into a land, maybe. I don't think we need Relic. Okay, well, there we go. If they block, I might just Lightning Bolt. Okay, they don't, so we get to Fury for full value. Alrighty, man, that's sweet. And when this matchup, when this cuts, you know, just right for us, man, it feels freaking fantastic. But this matchup can definitely go sideways. I think this is also a relatively evenish matchup. And that's lethal if they don't have some way to deal with it, which I'm sure they do. There we go. Yeah, this is a matchup where when we win, it seems incredibly one-sided, and when they win, it seems incredibly one-sided against us. We do have the double Lightning Bolt. Do we go for it now? Yeah, I guess so. Why not? Because they're tapped out on blue, so yeah. All right. Match 4, game 2. This time, let's remember to go over the sideboarding. What did I sideboard? So we took out the relics, which I can get behind that. What did we bring in though again? Not Stonebrain, not oh, Magus. Yeah, of course, we brought in Magus. That makes sense. So here's the thing to remember about Magus, okay? They have Lightning Bolt, but especially nowadays that they're playing Leyline of whatever you call it, Leyline Binding. They don't necessarily go as all in on red like burn spells, and even back in the day, they usually had Lightning Helix as their other burn spell, and they needed white for that. So you could actually keep them off of their way to deal with Magus. And when it comes to Lightning Bolt, that's kind of one of the only burn spells that they can actually use, assuming they have no other basics in play, that they can cast off a red to deal with Magus. If they have one other basic, and even if it's a plains, they could obviously play Lightning Helix, but if it's like a forest, whatever, they could get rid of it with Tribal Flame. So that's important to keep in mind. But I don't even know if they're playing Lightning Helix anymore, to be honest. And here's something else too about Magus to keep in mind, is it really helps you deal with the Territorial Kavu, and I'll explain. A lot of times what you want to do is you want to play a Lightning Bolt or a, or a even Spikefield Hazard if they have no other basics in play. And then you want to play the Magus. After you play whatever burn spell you do, it'll instantly go to the graveyard with state-based effects, and they will not have an opportunity to blow you out. If you play Magus first, and then try to use your burn spell, then they can blow you up by killing the Magus in response, right, with a Lightning Bolt. So just keep that in mind, because Magus' ability to kind of be a 1-2 sort of combo against Territorial Kavu is also pretty good. And that, but overall, it's just a good card. There's very little downside to Magus. It's certainly better than Relic. It's not perfect, but it does lock them out sometimes. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I've locked them out a good number of times. Sometimes it just delays them. Sometimes they eventually draw their Lightning Bolt, but the longer you drag out the game until they draw that Lightning Bolt, the better for you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this hand, obviously, it's got removal. I mean, what more can I say? It's got Field of Ruin, too. I think that's also something to keep in mind with Field of Ruin. Oh, yeah, we can Abrade the east side of Draco. I almost forgot. That's something cool to remember. Yeah, we can do the same trick with Field of Ruin, by the way. But I would recommend doing Field of Ruin first. There's very little they can blow you out with on the Field of Ruin. But yeah, the thing, their mana base is so sensitive that even just a vanilla Field of Ruin can do good work in this matchup. So I guess I could have played Blast Zone and put it on 2, but Blast Zone on 1 is a very real thing. So all right, well, I guess now the Blast Zones come out. I will probably crank this to 2 if they don't present a 1-drop somehow. Okay. I mean, this is not looking good for them. Yep. Lightning Bolt. I mean, I might as well, right? They don't have red. Yeah, they don't have red, so might as well, right? I think they're realizing they can only hit the token, which is not ideal, to say the least. I guess I could have done that last turn, couldn't have I? Yeah, that's fine, but they're still going to get Bugbeared. And I guess I want to hang up Spikefield more so than play the Reckless. You know, they're finally drawing into stuff. Well, this could be concerning. I kind of feel like it's probably too little too late. Now I don't know if I want to tap out so badly. Well, with Fable, we got plenty enough to do. Alrighty. Let's get our Fable game going. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I could have kept that to play it, but yeah, I mean, the more mana I have though, the more juicy this other Shatterskull is going to be anyway. There's the Tribal Flames. Alrighty, so we get to do some filtering. Definitely we want to filter that Spikefield. Do we want to filter the Shatterskull too? Yeah, I guess. Alrighty, yeah. Oh, Spell Snare. Oh. I don't know. I don't know if that was worth it. I might have been a little too clever for my own good with that one. Side of Draco. I guess we will Fury. We will Tyson Fury that thing. Who do y'all think's gonna win, Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk? I'm not a boxing expert, but man, I somehow I'm feeling Usyk, but that's neither here nor there. Alrighty, yep, they're gonna get rid of that Fury, but at the end of the day, they're kind of running low, and yep, that's that. Yeah, not much to say about this matchup. You just approach it like any aggro matchup. Just, you know, the Field of Ruins can really help. The Magus can really help. We didn't draw it, but yeah, just don't know what to say. All right, match 5, game 1. Let's go for the trophy, no less. Relic, hand seems decent. Seems hammer timey to me. A Fury would be pretty nice. Well, we can't always have everything we want, can we? But the Blast Zone, if we can get to it, could be pretty sweet. Oh, the Saga's a little bit scary. Oh no, oh, Nettle Cyst. Maybe a little yucky. Maybe a little yucky. Oh yeah, I remember this match. I'm not going to show the comments, but this guy is like, haha, lol, Abrade. I didn't understand what was so funny, but I think he is winning this one anyway. No, sorry if that's a spoiler. I mean the game. Well, we'll have to see about the match, but I don't know why some people feel the need to to laugh maniacally, but hey, their prerogative, I guess. Especially frustrating when people complain and they still end up winning, or like they were not in necessarily a losing position anyway. So it's like weird to complain before you're even close to being in a losing position, right? It's just weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I maybe am more sympathetic than I should be to complainers. I get it, but I don't get people who complain who are like not even necessarily losing yet. But whatever. It's neither here nor there. But yeah, there's kind of no coming back from this, I think. Boom. All right, so match 5, game 2. Oh yeah, let's not forget about the sideboarding this time, shall we? Ratchet Bomb is a sure thing. We definitely want Ratchet Bomb. Other than yeah, and so we can take out Relic. I also took out Seasoned Pyromancer, and I can't remember what I put in for that. Let's see. Oh yeah, Magus. Yeah, so hear me out. So I know Seasoned Pyromancer seems like a really crazy card to take out. The problem is that this matchup is so much about kind of holding on to your removal. Like, a lot of times you'll win with a hand stock full of removal because they know you've got removal, and they go for it at like the last minute before you're going to win, and then you unload all your removal, and then you win the next turn type of thing. Like, there's just not, like, Seasoned Pyromancer is sort of like an instant refill at its, Seasoned Pyromancer is at its best when it's functioning like an instant refill type card, where you like unload your hand and then you draw 2. Do you oftentimes create tokens? Oh yeah, you do. But number one, most of the cards in this deck are pretty relevant, and there's not necessarily a lot of good cards to pitch. This isn't necessarily like these matchups where there's all these like different situational cards at different points. It can be a little bit, but like, yeah, but what I'm just trying to say is, by and large, there's just not a lot of opportunities where we really want to pitch anything. We really want to be holding on to a lot of cards in our hands, so that's my logic behind Seasoned Pyromancer. Fable's different, because Fable's pitch is optional, Seasoned Pyromancer's not. If Seasoned Pyromancer's pitch was optional, and we could just draw 2 cards without making tokens, that'd be kind of nuts, though. That would be unbelievably nuts. But anyway, let's get to the games. Yeah, I mean, Fury helps a lot. Fury could have really helped in the last game. Actually, we had a Field of Ruin and Cleansing Wildfire. We didn't draw either of that, so we really shouldn't be dropping games so easily to Urza Saga. But I mean, sometimes there you go. That's fine. I don't think I'm going to do anything yet. I think I'm going to even wait for a juicier Fury. I guess I just went for it here. I'm really surprised I didn't wait for a juicier Fury. I could have. I think I got punished in the past for being too greedy with that. And I think I got rid of this because Field I can always like hold up, you know what I mean? And I just draw the card. Yeah, see what a juicier Fury this would have been. It's okay though. I think I gotta get rid of one of those. Oh, actually, the Blast Zone can take care of both the givers pretty easily. So I guess I don't need to. So it's an awkward, weird game. In retrospect, I definitely should have held on to that Fury. But it's also looking like it's not really going to make a difference. I don't think I need either of these. Yeah. Yep. And I could probably just crank this up to 1. Okay, cool story, bro. Cool story, bro. Oh yeah, I think that makes more sense. Because the Ratchet Bomb's less mana later. Right. I could have actually responded with Lightning Bolt, couldn't I have? Yeah, I want to respond to this, though. Oh no. I don't think that's, yeah, that's fine. Patience is always nice. Never a bad thing. Alright, let's crank out the treasure token, shall we? That's the nice thing about Fable 2, is even when you don't have another creature to copy, you've always got your Goblin Shaman token, and that's not a trivial thing at all. Alrighty. Caldera. Yeah, let's keep going for it. Alrighty. I'm gonna get rid of that. Alrighty, and that's that. Alright, match 5, game 3. I just checked my sideboard, no changes to the sideboard. And I think this will be a keep. We got 2 lands, got removal, got an answer to Urza Saga, got Fury. Feeling good about this. Let's see. Good old Esper Sentinel. Oh man, that's going to be a little awkward, but with the power of Blast Zone and Ratchet Bomb, I'm not too worried. Of course, if they play Cigar Dizay, which thankfully they don't, but they can't always have the nuts, right? And apparently not. Yeah, alright, that's good. I'm surprised I didn't play Reckless Impulse, but I guess it's fine. Yeah, because I'm gonna angle for Ratchet Bomb. Oh, that's why, because I wanted to play. That's so weird. Why didn't I play Fable? And why did I play Shatterskull Smashing? Oh, because I want to go end of turn Abrade on the Pithing Needle. Pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't think I need to necessarily rush it. I'm just going to do this. I could, of course, die right here in retrospect, maybe. But I think they're angling for a, who is it? A, Pure Steel Platinum. And I'm probably going to blast on an end of turn. Should I tank it? I think I will, and I'll, because I mean, we know they got that Pure Steel. I'm just gonna time walk them. Yeah, we can hold up 1 mana. This is always good. Yep. I like it. Yep, there's a Pure Steel. Alrighty. Yeah. I'm gonna keep plugging in there. I could have copied, but I guess what's the point? Oh, I should have copied because then I would have had a treasure token, another treasure token for saving up next turn. I should have used this to copy. Oh no, but that's why. No, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah, and there we go. And with that, that's the league. Yeah, let's get to the post league. But what can I say about Hammer Time? Hammer Time is very close. It's a very close one. You know, once again, you know, like arrogant old me, I think I'm probably a little bit favored, but I mean, who doesn't? But it's close. It's like, it's just, I actually kind of like it in a way. The only thing I don't like is some of the players seem unnecessarily arrogant, but maybe that's just, hopefully that's not me projecting. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I get a little more complaining than average from Hammer Time, but it's fine. It's actually, like, objectively speaking, aside from, like, you know, posturing about, like, you know, oh, my deck's better than yours type of thing, the reality is it's a pretty close matchup. It's pretty interesting. This is actually some of the better Magic out there, in my opinion, at least since we got the tools. If we don't have the tools, it's not really interesting at all. But we have the tools. They've got the tools to overcome our tools, and it's just, you know, I mean, I think if we can kind of step back for a second, you know, maybe we can acknowledge that, you know, this is a pretty close matchup that's relatively good Magic. Could be a good let us fight like gentlemen, like Dudley would say, or something like that type of thing. But whatever, that's not the current. Let's get to the post league. All right. So quick post league. Yeah. So what can I say? The deck felt pretty solid. I'm gonna cut to another video where I go over a more recent version of this. At least that's recent as of the time of recording this. That's kind of going to be my plan, just so you guys know, because I do want to kind of take it in order for the leagues as much as I can. But I also want to you guys to know where I'm all at the moment. But I mean, overall, like, the deck is very solid. I mean, we didn't run into Green Creativity. We didn't run into any Rhinos. We're actually more prepared than many of the other versions against said decks because of Stonebrain and Ratchet Bomb. But at the end of the day, those are still some of our worst matchups, and we dodged them. And, you know, this was overall some pretty good Magic. And, I mean, what can I say? I mean, I would say that against a good chunk of the decks, we are either favored or, you know, very close. And that's not a bad place to be, in my opinion. I mean, very few decks have, like, 8-2 matchups across the board, and we're definitely not like that either. But I would say we definitely have, I think we have favorable matchups for the most part across the board, with the big exception being combo, which we have generally abysmal matchups. But I mean, if you like a deck that's kind of favored against most decks except for combo, I mean, however way you build it, this kind of mid-range type shell seems to actually be pretty decent. In any case, I've enjoyed it, and I think my comments, for the most part, I felt like pretty much reflected. I feel like my comments in the deck tech were pretty reflected in what we saw here in this league. Anyway, let's get to the more recent version. I'll see you over there. All right, everyone, and this is a more recent version of this same deck. As you can see, I haven't trophied with it quite yet, but at about 33 wins and 12 losses, I still think not half bad, and I feel like it's only a matter of time till I can get a trophy with this specific configuration as well. I mean, it's one of those things that you don't, just because you got a trophy, it doesn't mean there isn't any room for improvement, right? And one of the things is I mean, I just don't really see that much Dredge, and Cleansing Wildfire has its moments, but it just, here's the thing, okay? One of the main things is Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, came out. That's, actually, I've got access to it this time. Let's see. Is it Elish or Elish? Can't remember how to spell that thing. Let me see here. Yeah, here it is. Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. This thing is nasty, let me tell you. This thing, it's nasty for two reasons. It shuts off a good chunk of our deck, and I mean a good chunk. Seasoned Pyromancer does almost nothing. Fury does almost nothing. Fable does almost nothing. Well, I shouldn't say almost nothing, but Fable becomes significantly less powerful because it doesn't make the token. Yeah, I mean, you name it. Where am I saying it? I don't think the Blast Zone trigger. I mean, I don't think the counter counts as a trigger, but you get the idea. There's just like, man, the amount of things that shuts down in our deck is truly terrifying, and it also doubles up all of their effects, and so that means Leyline Binding, Solitude, whatever else they might have. It's pretty nasty, y'all. So yeah, so what can I say? One of the things I've been noticing is that I do kind of like having more big burn spells. You know what I mean? Because there's two ways to go about it. I actually played Brittle Effigy for a while, and it's actually not bad. It's kind of for obvious reasons. This makes more sense on the sideboard. I kind of tried main decking a little bit. It's just so freaking expensive and awkward in a lot of matchups where you don't necessarily need to deal, you know, to just outright deal with a high toughness creature or a pro creature or something for this much mana. So that's the problem that I have with Brittle Effigy. It's not bad, but it's just better in the sideboard, and man, the sideboard space is always so cramped. So like what I just decided to go for tackling Elish Norn is you know, increase the amount of like 4 damage burn spells. And thankfully, if we're companionless, I think this is pretty much the way to go. Obliterating Bolt. You know, I had my eye on this when it got spoiled, and I think now is kind of the time for us to be dabbling in this because I mean, it's 4 damage, creature or planeswalker. Now here's the thing, I still stand by Flame Slash. It's hard to beat 1 mana 4 damage sorcery to any creature, right? But the thing is, like, I mean, oh, excuse the bird, sorry, but we're kind of in the market for another effect like this, and what we do get is not bad. Sorry, 1 second. Let me try to calm down the bird. Yeah, what we do get is not. Oh, sorry. What we do get is not insignificant. She just wanted to get let out of her cage. But anyway, yeah, what this does give us though is quite substantial for this extra mana. Not enough, I think, to make it better, but certainly good enough to make it a good addition. Because hitting planeswalkers is huge, mainly because we can actually hit a Ren and 6 without going down one card from Fury. I mean, obviously Fury is free though, so there's something to be said there. But I mean, hey, it's another way to snipe down a Ren and 6 the moment it comes down, which is huge because a lot of times when we lose games to Ren and 6 decks, it's because the Ren and 6 just goes nuts, and it's one of the few ways decks have to actually overpower us in card advantage. Also, exiling is not to be trifled with, especially like, for example, Elish Norn. Sometimes those decks play what's the card called? Eternal Witness, and if you exile with the Obliterating Bolt, they can't get it back. Like, you know, it's little things like that. Also, you know, Archon, sometimes when you want to take down an Archon and with more big burn spells, you can easier. Exiling it is also kind of a big deal. This actually used to be Magma Jet for a while, and actually, surprisingly, Magma Jet's not bad, but I do just think having a little more. Oh, I don't know what's bothering her now. She's out and about. I'll play with her a little bit in a second, but yeah, it's a great card, and I like it. And other than that, you can see the basic DNA of the deck is still here. I mean, it's basically the same deck. I think it's basically just this replacing Cleansing Wildfire, I think. Other than that, it's the same 75. So yeah, I mean, the DNA of the deck is still intact. One thing you might notice in the sideboard, though, is I have gone up to 4 Stone Brains. Even though Stonebrain is one of these cards that if you draw multiple, it diminishes in value quite a bit, it's also one of these cards that you kind of need to see right away for it to do anything. This is not one of those cards that if you top deck on like turn 10, it's really going to do that much, because in most of the decks where you need this, you're probably already lost by turn 10 if you didn't draw it by then, and you get the idea. Like, yeah. So like, plus you have so many ways to pitch extra copies, so that's why I moved to 4 Stonebrain. And I had 3 Ratchet Bombs for a while. I do have this Filigree Silex card, which I was trying to tell you. As you can see, it's basically just Ratchet Bomb, just because the oil counter, I mean, yeah, the oil counter just, it's like the same thing as the Ratchet Bomb counter. It's, yeah, so this card is basically just Ratchet Bomb, except if you ratchet it up to 10, and then you can sacrifice it if it has 10 counters, and tap it to sacrifice it, and deal 10 damage. I've never had that come up. But in theory, I guess that's kind of cool. The problem is most of their you have to spend so many turns where this is not on any kind of number where this does anything to anything on the other side of the board for it to actually get to that. That I honestly just never came up. Hey, but it's, you know, it diversifies if nothing else. So like if they name with Pithing Needle, they have to name both Silex and Ratchet Bomb, and that at the end of the day is probably more than anything one of the main advantages of it. It is legendary, so I wouldn't really recommend playing more than one of these. So I could play a second Ratchet Bomb here, I really could, but I'm actually going with Kozilek, Butcher of Truth, and I know this seems like so weird to see in the deck. It's mostly for mill, okay? Somebody brought to my attention that, you know, Emrakul could be better because you for the most part only really bring this in against mill, and Emrakul, if they do happen to mill it, it kind of stops the Tasha like dead in its tracks sooner. That being said, while I do agree, this probably only comes against mill, and that's really the main reason why it's even in here. This is basically just if they mill it, it just shuffles into my library, so it's pretty good value for very little deck cost. The thing is, man, I actually kind of feel like 10. This is a deck where I actually kind of feel like 10 mana is achievable. I feel like we can actually get to 10 mana, because we get to 8 mana pretty routinely in order to do Shatterskull for big numbers. So I'm sure there's got to be some matchups. I could, like, for example, I think against like Omnath control type decks, I mean, when you cast it, you draw 4 cards, right? So like even if they counter it, you still get the value. I haven't fully worked out what this could be brought in against. Since mill is such a tiny part of the metagame, although granted it's one we definitely need help in. Like I just can't help but feel like I want to try to see if I could get any other value for my cards. And 10 mana is not uncastable in this deck. It's not exactly a card we want to bring in most matchups because it is pretty dang expensive. But also we've got a lot of ways to pitch this too. We got Fable, we got Seasoned Pyromancer. If we see it, if we reveal it with a research test before we're able to cast it, we can always just elect to choose the other one, the other card we reveal after research test. Like there's a lot of ways to avoid this high casting cost being a big problem in the early games anyway, even if we do happen to see it. And unlike what do you call it? Stonebrain, this is exactly the kind of card where it does make a big difference if you draw it on like turn 10, if you know what I mean. Assuming you made land drops every turn, yeah, but you know, which you may not. But if you made land drops every turn and you see this on turn 10, it kind of can make a big difference. So it's a kind of a perfect kind of card as a one of, even aside from the mill matchup, if there's a matchup where you're in the market for something like this. So anyway, that's why this is in here. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, until next time, thank you all for your support through this long drought. I really wish you all the best. Take care.